In an emergency medical crisis, getting patients to the hospital as fast as possible is critical. Thankfully, on the North Island, there is usually a helicopter available, but new restrictions by Transport Canada could ground that idea. Helicopters, which have been landing at hospital helipads, are now under tighter restrictions. That has some wondering whether the new rules, which are designed for safety, may actually be putting lives at risk. A News reporter Gord Kurbis has our story.
They're helicopter pilots used to touching down in tight spots and open fields, and even on highways. But these days, one place medical flights are not touching down are hospital landing pads, which were actually designed for helicopters.
That is a concern, because if you're talking the golden hour or whatever that number is, when you're coming out of a remote place, time is important.
Ziggy Stewart is a Campbell River City councillor and a representative of the Comox-Strathcona Regional Hospital Board. He's helping raise concerns around the table about fears he's been hearing from local pilots about new flight restrictions to local hospitals.
Because in the resource business, whether you're in forestry, it could even be tourism. If there's an accident out in the backwoods, they have to get medevaced out.
Citing safety concerns, Transport Canada is restricting flights onto certain hospital helipads, including those in Campbell River and Comox. It says single-engine choppers are not allowed unless the patient is in a life-threatening condition.
Part of the report says that the pilot will be able to make the decision whether it's life-threatening or not. In my world, a pilot isn't a doctor, so he doesn't know whether it's internal bleeding or what it may be. So he just wants to get that patient to the hospital.
St. Joseph's Hospital in Comox has also been looking at the problem, and they've hired a consultant to try to look for other landing alternatives.
We were going with alternate landing sites that could have been, the park down the road, like any sort of square footage that had a piece of grass or something. Believe it or not, that can be acceptable.
In the Comox Valley, most incoming medical flights are now being redirected here to the Courtney Air Park, but that's just during the daylight hours. Once night falls, crews instead have to fly to the Comox Airport. And it's not a big adjustment for pilots to make, but on the ground it can add considerable travel time, and it also ties up medical resources for a longer period of time. The concerns from some of the ambulance crews are being echoed by Campbell River chopper pilots.
They would like to direct fly as they have for years. They don't feel that it is a reckless or their machines are going to be a danger to the general public.
The Victoria consulting company working on the St. Joseph's problem has yet to issue its report. Meanwhile, the hospital board is still looking into the matter. In Campbell River, Gord Kurbis, A News.